Hi, this is Olajide from CTF Security and welcome to another exciting video on the Hack the Box series. Today we're going to be working on a new machine called Strutted, and we're going to be approaching this from a beginner perspective. So we're going to assume that we have no previous knowledge of the vulnerability that exists on this machine. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, welcome back to the channel. So the very first thing we want to do is to grab our target IP address. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to take this to my Chrome browser. I'm going to paste it in there and then we can access our machine through the web browser. Now we have an interface here. In case you have issues while loading this, all you need to do is to add the strutted.htb to your sc/host file, which just require you to get a new tab. So I'll quickly just demonstrate that. Okay, so what you need to do is to just use a text editor to open up the /etc/hosts file. And then you can see that I have the Strutted appended to the IP address. All you have to do is to append this to your host file, then you save, and then you'll be able to access your machine through the web UI like this. So the next thing I want to do is to take a look at what we have on this application. The very first thing is it says upload your images, get a shareable link, instantly upload an image and receive a unique shareable link. So this is an indication that this application probably allows us to upload a file into the application. And having a look at this feature, the very first thing that will come to my mind is the file upload vulnerability because of the features that we have here on the homepage of the application. But before we start diving into that, you might as well take a look at what we have on the page source of the application. Probably we have credentials or any information that can help in the exploiting of this application on the page source. So you can see that practically we just have basic HTML, we have some styling on the application, as well as I think we have a form or so. Okay, not really. We have the upload your images and get shareable link. Then we just have this image source, which happens to be a script right here, a script source, I beg your pardon. Going to the Bootstrap 5.3.0 blah blah blah. So I don't think that should be any problem for now. So what we're going to do is, okay, right here we have the /download. I think this is where we actually wanted to upload the information from, which is the image right here. So if I pick up the download action, I might probably get redirected. So let's just append that to what we have here and see what happens. I'm going to close this. Okay, so that's taking a while. So while that is loading, I have my strutted.htb already captured by my Bob suite. So I'm going to add it to scope to ensure that we're only capturing requests from the strutted.htb. So I'm going to go to my proxy and make sure my HTTP history is filtered to only show in scope item. Okay, great. So let's go back to our application. So we still have it loading. So I'm just going to do away with what we have here currently. All right, great. So we might as well run nmap in the background while this is coming up. So let's just have a full screen, and let's go to documents. I think I have, let's make directory or YouTube, and let's cd YouTube, and then let's create a directory called Strutted, where we are going to be running commands from. And then from this directory, I'm going to run my nmap sc, beg your pardon. I'm going to run the command nmap sc, which is script scan. I'm going to run version scan as well on strutted.htb. So that is going to take a while. So while that is going on, let's see what we have here. So we have supported file type to be JPEG, JPG, PNG, and GIF files only. So we are restricted in uploading any other file type. We can as well try to see what Wapalizer have to say about this application, what technologies we're using on this application. And you can see that we just have engines, we have Java, Ubuntu operating system, and our reverse proxy happens to be engines. So we know that we're dealing with something that has to do with Java. So let's just do away with that for now. So I'm going to try to upload something. Let's see, let's upload more of like a text file, or just this .html file, and try to see what we get. So you can see supported file type JPEG, PNG, and GIF only. And let's try to see what this request has for us. Did we capture the request? I don't think so. Did we? Not really. So I'm going to refresh the screen. Let's just close this one. Okay, so let's try to upload that again. Index.html, upload. So we got the error message right here, and let's try to see what is happening behind the scene. So you can see this is the HTML file I'm trying to upload to the application. So I'm going to right click and forward this to repeater so that we can take a look at the request and see what we can do. So right now we have a request to the upload.action. You can see that it's also using HTTP 1.1, and this is the content that we have here, and we have content disposition. So I have a video on using this content disposition to bypass file upload vulnerability, of which I'm going to link in the description box below. So do take your time to check that out if you want to learn on how to exploit file upload vulnerability using this content disposition header. Now we have the content disposition, we have the form data, the name of the form to be upload, the file name is index.html, which is actually the file I'm trying to upload. Now I can try to see, okay, first of all, let's forward and let's try to render. So you can see what we have here. Supported file types only the JPG, JPEG, PNG, and GIF. So I might probably try to say, okay, image slash PNG, just to see if it's actually checking for content type. Did I actually spell this correctly? Is it image or images? So let's try to quickly check that out. content type. Not really. Image, so I think it should be image / png. MIME type, what's the MIME type for? Okay, yeah, so this is what I was looking for. So what if we actually change this to index.png? Okay, so let's try to forward. So as you can see, it says only image files can be uploaded. So this is an indication that the application is checking more than just the name or the file name we supply in the content disposition header. So we begin to look at how else can we exploit this vulnerability. So what I'm going to do is to try to see if we can actually get a version of this particular strutted application. So let's try to inspect this one more time. Probably we'll get a version number. I don't think so. I think I have JavaScript for that. Let me just duplicate my Notion. So let's say JavaScript. So it's currently loading. Let's see what we can extract from that point. JavaScript files, all JavaScript variable, links, first visible text, content, cookies, APIs, sessions, functions. This is not what I was looking for. API endpoint. Let's see. Okay, find all comments. So let's see if it's commented out. So what we can do is go back here and try to run this JavaScript in the console. So I'm going to just paste this and see what we get. Nothing really. Optional JavaScript. That's just what we got. So I don't think I have any other thing here. Okay, so let's do a simple search. Let's call it Strutted vulnerability. So we have a particular vulnerability here called critical Apache Strut file upload vulnerability CVE-2024, and you can see the CVE ID CVE-2024-53677. So there's this repo I'm going to be using, which I'm also going to link in the description box below. So it's going to be github.com/r007sec. And that is the repo we're going to be using. So we're going to be exploiting this machine in two ways. So we're going to be exploiting it in two ways, using a script and also exploiting it manually. So we're going to start with the script. So first thing I want to do is to clone this repository for this CVE-2024-53677. So we're going to clone it. Okay, so we have our scan done. So let's grab this first and let's just add this. So let's call this nmap scan. So this is what we got. So let's see, I'm going to copy this and let's clone the repo. So it's going to be git clone. So I think we have the repo. You can see it here, CVE 2024-53677. So we're going to enter that particular directory and let's see what we have in it. So we have our exploit, we have our readme, we have manual exploit.md, which we're going to be accessing later, and we have some images to show the proof of concept for this particular vulnerability. So we're going to move to exploit directory, and then you can see that we have the exploit.py. We also have the manual exploit.md, which is more of like a repetition. We have our requirements.txt because we need to run these using a Python virtual environment. So we need to install all the requirements so that we do not interfere with our local Python environment. And we also have the web shell, which is required for uploading the GSP shell script to the web application. So the very first thing we want to do is to give permission to the exploits.py. And now we can see what we have, which is exploit.py. And this is our script to actually upload the web shell to the application which we are dealing with here, which is this particular strutted.htb file upload vulnerability here. So what we want to do is, let's go back a bit here. So what we want to do first of all is to make sure that we have a virtual environment, because you might as well go back a bit and read the readme file. So let's say cat readme file. So you can see it here. We need to create a virtual environment, which I already have. So if you don't have a virtual environment, you can as well create one. Then you need to activate the virtual environment. Then you need to install all the dependency. So lucky for me, I think I have a virtual environment called cloud something. Can't remember. Let's see. Okay, let's try to locate everything that ends with V and V. Oh, where is it? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay, I think this is it. So cloud CTF virtual environment. So that is what I'm going to be using. So let's go back. Now that we have my directory for my virtual environment, we need to activate. So to activate virtual environment, we need the source, then the full path, which I can copy from here. And I'm going to paste. And this is supposed to, sorry about that. Okay, slash bin slash activate. So we are currently accessing the application using the cloud CTF virtual environment. So now we can install the requirements. So pip install our requirement to install all the necessary requirements. So it says error, could not open requirement. It says no such file as requirement.txt. So let's see. Okay, so sorry, I'm in the wrong directory. cd exploit. So let's go with pip install requirements, and you can see it here, all the requirements are already satisfied. So the next thing we want to do is take a look at what we have on the readme, which is cat readme. So it says run python exploit.py, then the URL for the strutted application. So we're going to go with python 3, the name of the script, which is going to be exploit. Sorry, I don't have it in this directory. cd exploit. So it's going to be python 3 exploit.py, then the URL, then we have the strutted.htb upload action, which is what the directory we're using to upload file, which is the upload.action. So I'm going to run this and let's see if it works. So you can see that our web shell.war has already been uploaded successfully, and then we can reach the JSP web shell at this particular URL. So if you want to use this manually using the shell we just uploaded, so we can as well paste this on a new tab, and let's say we want to get who am I. So you can see that we are Tomcat on the application. You can as well run other command like ls, because now we have a web shell. So you can see that we have config, we have the lib, we have logs, we have policy, web apps, and work. So let's go back. We can as well access the web shell from this point. So I can say ls. So you can still see we still have access to the web shell through this command line right here. So another way you can exploit this manually will be let's see, let's try to open a new tab. Let me just put this somewhere here in case we need to access. Okay, so let's go to our manual exploit here. So I'm going to click on it, and you can see it. So the very first thing we need to do is to capture the request while uploading any of the file type. In this case, they are trying to upload a GIF file, and then the shell.jsp file is appended to the GIF file. Then we have some manipulation in both the upload name, and we also have a manipulation in the second boundary of the content disposition here. So you can see that the name is set to top.upload file name, which is meant to overwrite the initial file name that we are uploading, which is a GIF file in this case. So we also have a part here which is specifying where to actually upload the file, because some directory within the application might just be read only without executable permission. So here we want to upload it inside the web apps, and you can see that we have web apps located here on the web application here. So the next thing we have here is the closing of the last boundary. I think that is everything that we have on our payload. So having gotten this, let's see how we can exploit that. So we're going to use a GIF as a sample. So I'm going to go to my pictures first. I think I have some GIF files. Do I have any GIF? GIF? I'm sure I do. Probably not on this directory. So let's say locate everything that ends with if these are directories, documents, assets. Let's just check this from here. So let's see file. So I don't really have any GIF file here, but I think I have one on the downloads. So let's just download one quickly. So download GIF file. Okay, so let's use this one. Let's see, can we download this one? It's a download button. Can I just right click and save image? Yes, I can. So let's call it our payload.gif. And I'm going to save it in pictures. So let's go to our application. And let's try to upload our GIF file first and see what happens. Okay, good. So you can see that our image has been uploaded, and we can as well inspect to see where this image is being uploaded to. So you can see it is going to image source upload / 2025 0603. I guess it's using the date format there. Then it's going to have an ID 221732 then /payload.gif. So even if we're able to upload our shell.jsp inside this upload directory here, we might not get it to execute. So that is why we need to do some path transversal when we are trying to bypass the file upload vulnerability, so that we can install so that we can upload the shell.jsp file in a directory where it is able to execute. So having said that, we're going to go back here and try to upload again. This time around, we're going to be capturing and we're going to be manipulating the request. So let's see what we got. So I'm going to turn on my Bob suite. So let's go to proxy intercept. I'm going to turn on, and then let's choose our payload once again and upload. So you can see this has been captured by Bob, and you can see here we have the GIF. This is an indication that we're using the GIF, and then we have the body of the request and everything. But we do not necessarily need all this because we want to actually change the content of the request. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this. We're going to leave it at the content type at image blah blah GIF. So just to avoid excess data, so I'm going to try to remove all this. So that's really much. Let's try to remove them. let's see the way we could just append it to the ending. So let's just append it to the ending instead of wasting much time on that. So let's try to see on the GitHub. Let's see cd / cd document. Okay, so cd exploit. Inside the exploit folder, we have our webshell.jsp. So I'm going to cut webshell.jsp, and then we will just copy this, and I'm going to let's see, just append it to this. So you can see the beginning of our JSP shell.jsp payload here. And then we need to work on our content disposition. First of all, we need to change the upload name so as to confuse the server from actually uploading the payload.gif. So we're going to remove this from lowercase. We're going to just turn it to uppercase U, and then we're going to have another form of so let me just copy this. So we're going to have something similar to this down here. So first of all, let's bring this down. And this is going to be still content disposition, form data, name is going to now be top dot upload file name. Then we're going to have the dot slash to have web apps, I think, slash shell.jsp, which is what we want to upload this as. So let's just verify to make sure we're on the right path. So you can see it here. You can see the content disposition, which we just set. You can as well see the file name has not been touched. The only thing that was touched is the U in the upload. I think everything is intact. So let's forward it to repeater. Okay, so let's forward this and let's see. You can see it. We have upload successful, and let's see what we got. So you can see it here, although we don't have any image because we've tampered with the GIF image. So I'm going to right click. No, let's copy show response in browser so that we can actually view this. So I'm going to paste it here and right click and inspect so that we can get the link. Okay, so we have the location of the image that was uploaded. So I think we got something wrong because our payload uploaded as upload 2025, which is very wrong. So we might probably have missed something. So I'm going to do that again. So this time around, I'm not going to upload the whole file. So what we're going to do is let's drop this request and okay, great. Let's drop that and let's go back. So let's just look for a very simple text. Let's see. I think I should be having a very simple short text. So let's go with the initial password. Oh, no, not really. Let's go with index.html and I'm going to upload. So we got the error. So let's try to fetch that from the history. Okay, so this is it. So let's forward this to repeater. And from the repeater, we can do away with all this here. So let's try to get what is the magic byte or GIF. So this is the magic byte for GIF. And let's check, did it tally with what we have? So GIF 89A. So we can choose to use anyone. So, but let's just stick with this. I'm going to take it to the request and we're going to paste it in here. So we're going to change this to image/GIF. We're going to change this to upload. And this is going to change to, let's just call it shell.gif. So we're going to terminate this. And then let's grab our payload. So I'm going to grab our payload, copy, I'm going to paste. So you can see this is our JSP payload. And the next thing I want to do is to copy my content disposition once again. So let's have it here. So remember, we're changing this to overwrite the initial file name. So it's going to be upload file name. So I think that's the start. And then we need to have a path, which is going to be //, or rather, we can even copy from here. So we're also going to have the closing of the boundary. We're going to remove the -- here. So that might be one of the issue why we have problem in the previous payload we uploaded. So I think everything looks good. Everything looks good. Multipart form data. Everything looked good. So I'm going to send and let's see the response. We got upload successful. And let's try to see the part where the file was uploaded to. Okay, great. So you can see it, we have upload source to be 2025-06-03-223008, and you can see that our file uploaded as shell.jsp. So let's copy this and let's try to append that to the end of this. Okay, so we got GIF 89A, which is the image. So let's take here. So we could use the let's check the script again. Let's see what parameter is he using. So he's using the CMD parameter. So we could say CMD equals to who am I. So you can see we are Tomcat ls. So you can see that we've successfully exploited this manually as well. So we have let's see, what's the other terminal? So we have a web shell here and here, and we also have a web shell at this location here. So the next thing I want to do is, let's just use this one. See what we have in the configuration. So I'm going to cd or ls, I beg your pardon, config. Let's use ls-pal conf. So you can see that we have sc/tomcat. Let us make this big. So can we do cd conf? No, we can. No, we cannot. So let's see cd, sorry, at conf. This is not going to work because it's not a file. So what can we do? We can say ls conf. Good. So we can as well say, what do we have? We have something called tomcat users.xml. So we can say cat conf/tomcat users.xml. Good. So you can see that this is the tomcat users.xml file, and it happens to contain the username and password of users within the machine. So you can see it here. So I'm going to grab this credential and I'm going to add it here. So got this credential, but I don't know which user has this credential because it says admin, but we can actually verify this. We can try to get what are the users on the machine by using the cat/etc/password on the machine, and we're going to look for users above 1000, and the only user above 1000 here is James. So this might probably be James' credential. So I'm going to assume it's James, and from our nmap scan, you can see that we have port 22, which is open, SSH. So we can try to SSH in So let's clear screen. So we can see SSH James at strutted.htb, and this is going to ask for credentials, so we're going to supply the password. And we're currently logged in as James. So ls who am I? Okay, so we are James. So what can we do on this machine? Can we run sudo -l? And from the application here, you can see that this particular user, James, can run this particular application, the TCP dump application, without password. So we can actually use this as a privilege escalation vector, because if you go to GTFO and we search for sudo, because this is actually sudo, right? Let's try to see TCP dump. Do we have TCP? So you can see TCP dump on sudo. Sorry, we can actually use this to gain elevated privilege access on the web application. But what we're going to be doing is, let's try to see, we can do this in two ways. So I'm going to first try these GTFO steps, and then we can also try to elevate our privilege using a slightly different approach, something very similar but a little bit different from this. So let's try to run command ID. So we're going to just go ahead and run this. Good. So we need to run the make temp. We need to echo the command and put it inside the ATF variable. And then we need to change mode. And give it executable permission. And lastly, we need to run the TCP dump with elevated privilege, since we can actually do this as James. And let's run that. Okay, so it says sudo TCP dump, whatever, 1 packet captured, 4 packets received, 0 packet dropped. Who am I? So we are still James. Okay, so we can do this with a slightly different step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leverage this TCP dump with the busybox. Now, the reason why I'm going to use busybox is sometimes we might have endcat missing, or sometimes some endcat might not be able to run executable file like the bin bash within the application, so there might be some restriction. So first thing I want to do is I want to check which endcat. So we have endcat, which busybox. Okay, we have busybox, which is very cool. So what we can do is we can echo the variable ID just to confirm after execution that we've actually gained a root access. Then we can put on a new line after executing ID to use busybox endcat on our remote IP. So let's verify what our IP is. I can do that on a new tab as well, IP. So you can see it. Our IP is 10.10.15.11. I'm going to grab that and we're going to use it for the end cards. I'm going to paste it in here. Then we're going to have port. So let's use 9001 and we're going to execute /bin/bash, which is our reverse shell. Let's close this. So let's call it a bit lagging. So let's call it rev. The next thing is I'm going to change mod to just give it executable permission. And then I'm going to use sudo to run tcp dump, something very similar to what we have already, because we want to run as root. So before I actually run this, I'm going to create a listener. So let's have our listener somewhere at the corner here. And let's have this at the corner here. Good. So let's have end cards listing on 9001. So let's execute. Oh, did I miss anything? Let's see, did we miss anything? ls add rev id busyboss endcard 900. Okay, so I think there's a slight issue here. So okay, since I'm not using this variable again, so it's practically not usable. So we're going to use the new, sorry about that silly mistake. Sorry, let me just close this and bring it back again. Z is supposed to be ./rev. I'm correct. I think that's the issue we had. Good. So you can see it. Our payload has been executed and we gained a reverse shell. So we're connected to 10.10.15.11 and we can as well do ls. You can see it here. So I'm currently running commands from the machine here. So we can say who am I? So you can see that we are root. We check host. Nothing. ls/. We have all our file. We can as well see which Python We have Python 3. Stabilize TY shell. I don't know if I have something like that here. TTY shell. I don't think this will work for Python 3. This happens to be just let's try to use this for this other shell. I knew it. So let's go with Python 3. Oops, I was wrong. I think ChatGPT should be helpful in this situation. Make commands to stabilize TTY shell using Python. Okay. Since we do not have Python, so let's see if this is going to work. Okay, we have a shell. Good. So let's put this in the background. Control Z. Okay, then echo. Then foreground. And then I think we have one more command. Sorry, let me see. Are we having an issue? Just for the last time. Okay, so we can just work with this cd/root ls cat root.txt. Good, and we can as well do cat/home/james/user.txt as well, which is the tool flag for this machine. Okay guys, that'll be all in this video. If you've learned one or two things from this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video.